I have literally heard guys say that they do their best to get as much out of a customer as they possibly can. And that seems a little bit weird. Now, this is the story all about how this house got washed from inside out. So sit right back and learn for sure why they call me the Fresh Rinse and Pressure. Oh yeah, that's dope for sure. Good Thursday morning to you. Mike here, the Fresh Rinse, on location in beautiful Germantown, Ohio, to wash this small home. This is opportunity 1 of 3 on the day. I washed here many years ago. In the time that I have washed here, the nice lady has passed away, leaving her husband to deal with all of these things on his own, and I'm glad to help out. Bless him, Lord. You're probably asking yourself, why does the Fresh Rinse have on a brand new pair of Huck boots at the end of a wash season? Why, oh why? Well, I'll tell you why. Because I can't find my work boots. Like, I got up this morning, my work boots were missing. No one steals work boots. It's like, that's the last thing that you want to be in business doing, is making work boots. Nowadays, nobody's stealing work boots. Fortunately, I have a supply of these Huck boots that I purchased in bulk and tapped into that supply. So the question of the day is it better to work on fewer jobs and bring in as much money as you possibly can, or have a number of jobs and bring in about the same amount of money? I think that's a great question. It needs to be understood that there are no two business models alike, and what's good for you is not necessarily good for me. So it's not my place to say that someone is doing it right or they're doing it wrong. I just know what works best for me. I have literally heard guys say that they do their best to get as much out of a customer as they possibly can. And that seems a little bit weird, but it may be for good reason. If you have large overhead, multiple employees, possibly multiple trucks on the road, you're not really afforded the luxury as us solo guys who can wash a patio for free just because we want to. If you've got great overhead, then it's incumbent for you to charge for every single thing, thus getting more and more money out of a customer. I feel like I know my customer base pretty well. I kind of know how they're thinking when they ask the question, how much does it cost to get my house washed? Of course, that changes because someone who is very wealthy might live in a middle class or even a lower class neighborhood by choice. So you can't read everyone's mind. I'm just saying that, generally speaking, I kind of know what people are thinking. I kind of know that ballpark price that fits most budgets. So my goal isn't to get as much as I can out of every customer. My goal is to price a job that's pretty darn close to what they were thinking in terms of their budget. I close about 65 to 70% of the quotes that I give. The customer doesn't really want to have to call 2 and 3 and 4 people to get quotes. So if I'm close, even if I'm a little bit high, they're just going to go ahead and say yes, and I can fill my schedule with customers that are going to meet my budget. I can do them a great job, and because I'm in their price range and I do an amazing job, and let's just admit it, I'm darn good looking. So because of all of those factors, I probably have a lifelong customer just about every time. In other words, if I suck the customer dry financially, they may go with me one time, but the next time they're going to remember, even though I did an amazing job, they may think to themselves, he sure was expensive. I think I'll look around. Here's what we know. Every customer that I work for knows hundreds of people that I do not know. And they tend to hang out with people that are in their financial bracket. So the middle class hangs out with the middle class. Millionaires know tons of millionaires. That's just the way that it works. And they're going to have conversations with their friends. And when their friend says, hey, I'm looking for someone to clean my house, I want them to say, oh, I know this guy. Not only was he amazing in his work, he was on time, darn good looking, as we know, and he was right there where I needed him to be financially, and I highly recommend him. As opposed to that same customer saying, you know what, I know this guy, terribly good looking, did a great job, but wow, he tried to get every dollar that he possibly could. I would recommend him, but know that he's going to try to get as much as he possibly can. That's just not my business model. So for me, I like a large portfolio. So it's better for me to price my work in such a way that more often than not, they're going to say, okay, come on out and wash for me. That happens again about 65 to 70% of the time. So I do miss the mark. And I'm to understand by those who are in the know that 65 to 70% is about where you want to be. All of those people know people that I do not know. So there's 70% of the time I'm going to get more work in time from those customers. So for me, that's my answer. Price it in such a way that the person feels like that's fair, and then they spread the good word. It does so many things. I get to meet a ton more people. I get to put more smiles on people's faces. I still provide for my family. And over time, my clientele, my portfolio will be much larger than those who price themselves out of work for the sake of going home early or just having a large income off one or two customers, so to speak. Again, that changes based upon your business model. There isn't a wrong one. I think we can agree on that. That if you've got employees, it's incumbent upon you to have as many jobs as you possibly can, but at a larger ticket, and then be adjustable in that. In other words, flexible. So, try to get into higher end neighborhoods with all of your employees, score a bunch of jobs, and hope that they spread the word. And if they don't bite on that and you can't get work, then you've got room to lower your prices. So you can always lower it, but you can't always raise it. That doesn't change the fact that for me, I like a large portfolio. So I want a lot of customers spreading my name. And that has worked well for me. I have a friend who is a retired school teacher. And as a retired school teacher, he washes houses and really enjoys it. But his prices, I'm to understand, are a little bit more than mine on the average house. That's okay because he doesn't really want to wash all day. He's got a steady income, a pension, and he just doesn't need what I need to make a living. So he prices his work high, washes one a day or so, and then goes home and is happy as can be. And there's nothing wrong with that business model, in my opinion. This nice gentleman here, again, I washed for this couple many years ago. When he called me, I gave him my price, which is my standard price, which was considerably higher than the last time that I washed for him. And he said, Mike, that's really not doable for me. Is there any room for adjustment? And I said, what would you feel comfortable with? He gave me a price, and I said, let's do that. I didn't make as much money as I would have if this were a first-time homeowner, having never washed for them before. As a solo operator, I'm afforded that luxury. Still making money, put a smile on his face, and he's going to be very happy. And then I'm going to go to opportunity 2 of 3 today. So let's just be honest. I can't do that for every customer. In fact, it's rare that I do that for any customer. Generally speaking, I would just simply say, I completely understand. And if you need to get additional quotes, I would highly encourage you to do that. And if at the end of the day, you feel like that I'm the person for you, then let me know, and I'll be here for you when you need me. Sometimes they call back, sometimes they don't. This gentleman, a little different situation. Again, he's a previous customer. His wife has passed. That's an income that he doesn't have. And I was able to make that adjustment and not affect my budget in the least. So I think everybody wins in that scenario. All right, the video has gone on entirely too long, but one more thing. Perhaps the real question is, would you rather go deep sea fishing knowing that you're probably going to catch 1, maybe 2 monster fish that you can brag about to your friends and enjoy for a lifetime, hanging on the wall, and have an amazing experience like that most people will never get? I think that's kind of cool, personally. Or would you rather fish in the pond and be guaranteed to catch a ton of bluegill and maybe a catfish or 2 and a few 3-pound bass, and take some pictures of that, put the bass on the wall, eat all the bluegill and catfish? I don't think there's a wrong way. It's just, what do you want to do? What's your business model? You say, yeah, but Fresh, I'd rather deep sea fish and catch tons and tons of big, huge fish and have lots of stories and lots of fish on the wall. Well, you know what? That wasn't an option, was it? So you know what? You're going to have to make your own video. All right? That's it for me. It is Thursday. This is opportunity 1 of 3. I'm going to finish the day and then call off for tomorrow and head to Virginia for the weekend, spend some time with family. Hopefully you have a blessed weekend as well, and I will see you on Monday as I finish that big, huge factory wash. Glad to get that behind me. All right, Mike, the Fresh Rinse, and I'm out.